James Gunn's Superman reboot relaunches the DCU with a new Man of Steel, but how about that supporting cast? There's what's-his-name from That Thing and what's-her-face from that show everyone's talking about. Having trouble placing all those semi-famous faces? We're here to help. First up, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's this guy, David Corenswet, donning the cape in the reboot. If he looks familiar, it's not just because he seems to have been born to wear the S on his chest and fit the role to a T. You may recognize Corenswet as rival tornado chaser Scott from 2024's Twisters, the blockbuster sequel to the 1996 disaster flick Twister. If you didn't catch that one, perhaps you saw him in the romantic time travel fantasy The Greatest Hits, also released in 2024.
What do you want to do today?
All of it.
Horror fans will remember him as the projectionist in 2022's Pearl. Prefer the small screen? Corenswet played a narcotics investigator in HBO's We Own This City, a 2022 limited series from the makers of The Wire. And Netflix subscribers might know the new Man of Steel from 2020's Hollywood, a breakout moment for the classically trained Corenswet, who earned heaps of praise for his role as Jack Costello, a World War II veteran turned actor.
Let me guess. You came here to be a movie star.
How did you know?
No joke, the marvelous Mrs. Maisel herself, Rachel Brosnahan, plays Daily Planet reporter Lois Lane, so there's a pretty good chance that's why she looks familiar. That award-winning turn as a mid-century stand-up comic was her big breakthrough, but hardly her debut.
Nice to know that people haven't forgotten me.
The Netflix political thriller House of Cards put Brosnahan on the map in 2013, earning her an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Guest Actress. She had several one-off roles on TV before that, but House of Cards paved the way for recurring roles in shows like The Blacklist and Black Box. On the big screen, she's appeared with Benedict Cumberbatch in the spy thriller The Courier, and starred in the neo-noir I'm Your Woman, both released in 2020. In 2022, Brosnahan switched genres for Dead for a Dollar, a Western thriller, and just before taking on Superman, she appeared in another espionage-inspired entry, The Amateur, with Oscar winner Rami Malek. Nicholas Hoult has been on a hot streak for more than a decade, and he was a child star back in the early aughts in About a Boy. So chances are you've seen the Lex Luthor actor in several other high-profile projects, and he's a lot easier to place when he's not sporting that shiny bald cap. Superman isn't his first comic book flick. Hoult played Hank McCoy, aka Beast, in 2011's X-Men First Class and its 3 sequels. He is a bona fide leading man these days, with turns in blockbuster fares such as Nosferatu and Juror No. 2 in 2024, the horror comedy Renfield in 2023, the fine dining black comedy The Menu in 2022, and more. And who could forget Hoult as Warboy Nux in 2015's Mad Max Fury Road, another instance of him going hairless on the big screen.
I never thought I'd do something as shine as that.
Mr. Terrific actor Edi Gathegi may not be a household name, but chances are someone in your household knows who he is. Twilight fans know him as Laurent in the mega-popular vampire franchise. Comic book fans know him as Darwin from X-Men First Class, sharing the screen with Lex Luthor himself, Nicholas Hoult. Got a House MD mega fan in your life? They know him as Dr. Jeffrey Cole, aka Big Love. Is your dad obsessed with The Blacklist? Gathegi was Matthias Solomon on the long-running crime thriller. More recently, Gathegi joined the cast of the Apple TV Plus sci-fi series For All Mankind as Dev, the co-founder of a private space company looking to reach Mars. Yep, that's Nathan Fillion under that bowl cut playing Guy Gardner, a member of the Green Lantern Corps. For sci-fi and fantasy fans, Fillion needs no introduction as he starred in Joss Whedon's cult classic Firefly and helped wrap up Whedon's Buffy the Vampire Slayer by appearing as the villainous Caleb in the final 5 episodes. Superman director James Gunn clearly loves working with Fillion, as he also cast him as the detachable kid in the Suicide Squad and Master Karja in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Fillion's also done plenty of superhero-related voice work, including playing another Green Lantern Corps member, Hal Jordan, in several animated adventures. But Fillion's probably most well-known in the mainstream for 2 hit ABC shows, 8 seasons of Castle as the namesake writer in Private Eye, and playing the oldest rookie cop in the LAPD on The Rookie, which is currently shooting its 8th season. Like her co-star Nicholas Hoult, Hawkgirl actor Isabela Merced has also been on a roll in the last decade or so, appearing in family-friendly fare, sci-fi blockbusters, teen dramedies, and prestige HBO tentpoles. Younger Superman viewers will know her as Dora the Explorer in 2019's Dora and the Lost City of Gold, or Nickelodeon's 100 Things to Do Before High School, while tweens and teens might know her best as the lead in the 2024 adaptation of John Green's YA novel Turtles All the Way Down. Sci-fi fans likely clocked her from Transformers: The Last Knight and Alien Romulus, but her most recent journey into the genre is as Ellie's love interest, Dina, on Season 2 of HBO's The Last of Us.
No, I actually didn't know that. Now you do.
Clark and Lois's Shutterbug colleague, Jimmy Olson, is played by Skyler Gisondo, a name you probably don't recognize, but you know this guy. He's one of those character actors who's popped up on TV in one-off roles since he was a kid, occasionally appearing on the big screen in major releases such as Vacation, The Amazing Spider-Man and its sequels, and The Third Night at the Museum film. On the small screen, he's definitely best known as stunt performer and family foil Gideon Gemstone in HBO's The Righteous Gemstones.
It's not that I want to get away from the family, I just want to carve my own path.
Over on Netflix, he played neighbor Eric Bemis on the comedy horror series Santa Clarita Diet, while his most recent main role on the small screen is in the Peacock dark comedy The Resort. Metamorpho actor Anthony Carrigan isn't new to DC projects, as he played the Batman villain Victor Zsasz in 20 episodes of Gotham and another villain Mist on The Flash. Carrigan's been on the big screen a few times, including the long-awaited sequel Bill and Ted Face the Music, but you likely know him best from TV. Well, it's not TV, it's HBO, and it's his breakout part, the scene-stealing Chechen gangster NoHo Hank in the assassin comedy Barry, which earned Carrigan an Emmy nomination.
That's just nice.
If that's still not ringing any bells, you might know him as Adam's hipster boss Corey on NBC's Parenthood, or perhaps from ABC's forgotten crime drama The Forgotten, in which he played an amateur detective alongside Christian Slater in the show's one and only season. Lex Luthor's assistant and girlfriend Eve is played by Sara Sampaio, and if you don't recognize her as an actor, it's because she's better known as a model and Victoria's Secret angel. She notably appeared in the final Victoria's Secret fashion show to air live on ABC back in 2018, so you might recognize her from that, or from appearing in one of many commercials for Axe body spray. Her big screen work has mainly been bit parts and little scene thrillers, so if you're confident you know her from somewhere, it just might be the magazine rack. Sampaio's graced the cover of Vogue, Maxim, and Elle, just to name a few. One of Lex Luthor's allies, known as the Engineer, is played by Venezuelan actress María Gabriela de Faría, who might not be familiar to American viewers, but she's big in South America. Teen Idol big, in fact. In 2009, she starred as Isabela in Nickelodeon Latin America's Isa TKM and its sequel series. In the States, comic book fans may know her from Sci-Fi's Deadly Class, based on the comics of the same name and starring Marvel fan favorite Benedict Wong. If sitcoms are more your style, you may have caught her in a recurring role as Cora on The Moody's, a Dennis Leary vehicle that ran for 2 seasons on Fox. General Rick Flag Sr. leads a team of monsters on Black Ops missions in James Gunn's Creature Commandos, and Flag's voice actor Frank Grillo returns in Superman in a neat cartoon to live-action reprisal. You know Grillo as a go-to tough guy on the big screen, playing Brock Rumlow in the MCU, the Sergeant in the Purge franchise, and as a retired Delta Force soldier stuck in a time loop in 2021's Boss Level. The 60-year-old actor has dozens of small and big screen credits to his name, but there's a good chance you know him from his starring role as a retired MMA fighter for 3 seasons of the drama Kingdom, or his scene-stealing turns and recurring roles on crime dramas like The Shield and Prison Break. Okay, so the robots who helped Superman at the Fortress of Solitude obviously didn't look familiar to moviegoers, but they probably sounded pretty familiar, and for good reason.
We feed the canine, but he is unruly.
James Gunn brought out the big guns, casting some of his favorite actors to voice the bots, including Michael Rooker and Pom Klementieff from Guardians of the Galaxy. Rounding out the robot cast is Alan Tudyk of Firefly fame, dancer Grace Chan, and Gunn's wife Jennifer Holland, known to DC fans as NSA agent Amelia Harcourt in Peacemaker and other DC projects. If you thought you saw Bradley Cooper playing a luminous, distinguished Jor-El, aka Superman's Kryptonian dad, you're right, that was him. One of the biggest movie stars in the world, Cooper has done it all, but Marvel fans know him best as the voice of Rocket Raccoon in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Superman's Kryptonian mom, Lara, meanwhile, is played by Angela Sarafyan, an in-demand character actor best known for her breakout role as the robot working girl Clementine in HBO's Westworld. Rounding out the main cast, Wendell Pierce of The Wire and Suits fame plays Perry White, the editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet. Also on staff, Christopher McDonald of Happy Gilmore fame as reporter Ron Troop, SNL's Beck Bennett as reporter Steve Lombard, and Michaela Hoover from James Gunn's Super as columnist Kat Grant. James Gunn's brother Sean Gunn plays Maxwell Lord, previously played by Pedro Pascal in Wonder Woman 1984, and you know Sean from Gilmore Girls and, well, pretty much everything his brother's ever made. In a neat voice-only cameo, Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex Luthor on Smallville, plays one of Luthor's helmeted raptor guards. And ABC News correspondent Will Reeve, son of 80s Superman Christopher Reeve, plays a reporter in a brief cameo. Finally, a significant spoiler alert for our final character who's otherwise been uncredited and will make for a fun surprise if you haven't seen the movie yet. Here we go. That's right. Ahead of her own solo film in June 2026, Millie Alcock appears as Supergirl in a post-credit scene very much in line with how Kara Zor-El is portrayed in the 2021 comic series Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which Alcock was snapped reading in a behind-the-scenes pic shared by James Gunn back in March. It's pretty much guaranteed that you know her from HBO's House of the Dragon, in which she played young Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen. But if you're not into eye-wateringly expensive high fantasy, you may have caught the Australian actor alongside A-listers Kevin Bacon, another James Gunn favorite, and Julianne Moore in Netflix's dark comedy series Sirens.
Welcome, ladies! Sips and nibbles are in the back.